moving on to our next awardee, Mrs. Renuka Prasad. There is a positive stroke to every calamity is her mantra. Was diagnosed in 1997 with breast cancer. She says, though it was not a pleasant experience, but having a positive outlook helped her sail through. She has been associated with the Indian Cancer Society for 2 decades and is now the honorary secretary.
I'm really humbled to have been received this award from VCare, which is for courage, strength, and determination in conquering cancer. This is what I'm told it's for. But when it says conquering cancer, that I have conquered cancer, I think I will give that credit to the Lord above. It's God who is actually responsible for having given me the courage and the determination to be able to fight this dreaded disease and come out a winner in that. Now, I'm sure you all know that cancer and having cancer is no joke. And it catches you totally unawares. When you're just not prepared, it gets to you. I was also leading a very comfortable life with my husband in Bathinda when suddenly in 1997 on Holy Day, I discovered this pea-sized lump right in the inner quadrant of my breast. And of course, as it's always there, the diagnosis or even the thought that I'm going to be having breast cancer now and this lump spells breast cancer meant absolute devastation for me. But I knew there's no turning back, there's no running away, and the regular course of action has to be followed. So we went through a mammogram where it was discovered that it is a malignancy, and thereafter the normal procedure started, surgery, chemotherapy, the hormonal therapy, and so on and so forth. The surgical oncologist suggested that I have a modical radified mastectomy, wherein the entire breast would be removed, along with the lymph nodes in the armpits, saving the body wall only. The lump was small, yet I abided by the decision, as at that point, the doctor was akin to God for me, and I felt that he is the best judge. It could have been a lumpectomy also, wherein only the lump would have been removed and the rest of the breast would have been saved. But after the surgery, seeing the scar, which is looking at you in the eye, you really start missing your own body part, which is so relevant to you as a woman. But then you realized, at least I realized then, with the love and the support that I got from my husband, that in this dreadful disease, that fighting is not only by me alone. I'm not the only one who's suffering, but he is also suffering along with me because he realizes what a loss this is going to be for me. So this is another realization that came to me at that time was that all the loved ones are there with me, whether it was my children or whether it was my caregivers or anyone within the family and friends. They all cared for me and they loved me and they were suffering along with me and giving me all the support that I could get. The recovery afterwards was quick and then started the nightmare, which is known as chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is the most dreaded thing this side of the earth. I had 16 sessions of this, and these were followed by something called hormonal therapy. I was lucky that I did not get, radiation. And also the chemo drugs that were given to me were of a very, very low intensity because my lump was a very small one. And the radical mastectomy had been done only to see that I do not get cancer again, according to the surgical oncologist. But that did not make me suffer too many of the side effects. But yes, I had only thinning of the hair. I did not, fortunately, with God's grace, lose my hair. And I really thanked him for these small mercies that were being given to me. My prayers since the time of the diagnosis were to the Almighty, to give me the strength to cope with this ordeal that I was going through, and that it would stand me in good stead. I had heard the Dalai Lama once said that there are 2 days in the year that nothing can be done. One is called yesterday and one is called tomorrow. But it is today which is the right day to live, the right day to believe, the right day to love. And as I said earlier, the right day, as he had said, to live. Because it's necessary to deal with today. And keeping this in mind, I realized that I have to instill myself with a lot of positivity within me. And also the dictum that this too shall pass kept me going from one day to another with all the 16 sessions of chemotherapy, which were the biggest pain this side of the earth. Luckily for me, I had a Ashok with me who was there to take care of me and also provided a lot of support by talking to my children and giving me reports about them. It ended with that only. Radiotherapy was not advised, but I was put on hormonal therapy for the next 5 years, which really took a toll on my life. It was to control the estrogen levels, but little did I realize that the havoc this is causing in the coming years that are going to be there, which I'm facing now today, 22 years or 23 years now after I had been diagnosed. Osteoporosis, diabetes, hypertension, they are all a result of that particular therapy that I had been through, which had really been very, very drastic. And like they say, to every calamity, there is a positivity that comes your way. For me too, this dilemma holds true. Once back on my feet, this close brush with a near-death disease made me sit back and try to figure out a way I could be a messenger to the women around that early detection is the keynote to surviving cancer. Tell them all that I had learned in my journey about breast cancer, how to safeguard themselves from its grasp, know the signs and symptoms of its start and its treatment and what it deals with in its aftermath, getting back into being a healthier woman again. For this, I joined up Indian Cancer Society and Cancer Sahyog, actually the emotional support group first, which is a part of the Indian Cancer Society, because I had been helped along my path by one of the volunteers who had come into the hospital and helped me and made me realize that losing a breast is okay, a very big deal for me, but no one can be the wiser if I'm wearing a good prosthesis with a good bra inside it, of which I was totally oblivious, and that had really shattered me. So to put me back on the feet, it was this volunteer from Indian Cancer Society who had helped me up, and I had thereafter decided that I will give whatever life I have with me to the society, try and pay back what I have received from them. So I have been with them ever since then. And to date, I'm now the secretary, having been through a lot of other posts in between as president of Cancer Sahyog, the emotional support group, becoming a joint secretary, and so on. Now, my advice to all women is, and to some of the men who do get breast cancer, because we must realize that it's not only women who get it, that it doesn't need to be our story. The power to edit, bring a change, transform our lives, it remains within us. We can beat cancer by how we live and in the manner we live. Do we need others to help us edit our life story and transform our lives? The answer is no. When we think we have exhausted all possibilities, we must remember this, that we haven't. The power lies within us. So let's try and prevent it. And even if we do get breast cancer, well, let it be in its first stage, its early stage, because there is life after cancer. That I am a living proof of that. And I know early detection is the key to having a healthier life once you have been through cancer. Thank you so much once again, PK, for having acknowledged my work in this field of cancer. I'm really grateful to you and, well, happy that it has been acknowledged. Thank you ever so much.
Once again, thank you, ma'am, so much for sharing your story. Let's all come together with a tremendous round of applause to honor the bravery and resilience of all our victors today. Let's keep the applause going.